Lord God, we need you. Yahweh, my Lord. I know you can hear me, for I hold the sacred disk. The sons of heaven have betrayed you, and the sons of man. Lord God, hear my prayer. Deliver us from these abominations that scorch the land. O my Lord, my days have been long upon the earth. As of now, I have seen 900 years. Deliver us, Lord, before it is too late. Greetings. I am Methuselah, son of Enoch, grandsire of Zisudra, whom later tongues name Noah. I speak as an elder witness of the true age of God, giants, and men. Before you hear the writings of my father Enoch, let me first tell you what the world was like in my time. Long ago, the people of the earth were called the black-headed ones, forged from the civilization Hyboria. That was how we were known in the old tongue, a marked people, dark of hair, forged by sun and soil, builders of reed cities and canal fields, keepers of grain, song, and law. That was until my grandchild was born. He was unlike all in appearance. From sight, he resembled some of the sons of heaven. I was told later by a fallen son of heaven, a former watcher from the celestial ship, that he was a son of a high god, a god of water, a brother to the god Yahweh, leader of earth and high heaven. In quiet places among elders, we knew there were lords beneath that heaven, powers with offices, rivalries, and workforce groups who watched humanity, sometimes from the spinning wheels above. My father Enoch agreed to a choice to a high son of heaven named Marduk, and my family and I suffered when the best of his sons of heaven broke their sworn order by the God of all the gods. For in my time, there existed more than one. We called them Atlanteans. They called themselves Anunnaki. And their story is your story. All of you.
It was then that the Anunnaki sons of Enlil and Enki, the high Elohim, took Enoch up to the high places, the remote ridges and peaks where their craft could land unseen. He was taken into a chamber that felt more like a temple than a room, where stone floors hummed with the vibrations of the stars themselves, and maps of the heavens floated in the air, their lines glowing like threads of light in the dark. The sons of Heave stood there, calm and severe. In that sacred space, Enoch was shown the record of the Watcher's oath, the covenant they had broken long ago. He saw the names of those who betrayed their trust and witnessed the chain reaction that followed, like a spreading sickness. Bloodlines destabilized, cities militarized, worship corrupted, and truth twisted into theater. With his heart heavy and his mind clear, Enoch asked the question that weighed most heavily upon him.
My great lords, why must I do this? Why must I go?
The angel, Michael, answered him, calm yet full of ancient sorrow.
This is a test. You are favored by Yahweh, the God of gods. No matter what the fallen do to you or say, know that he is with you. Warn the fallen of their crimes, record who repents and who does not.
And so Enoch was sent out not as a conqueror or a soldier, but as a witness to the truth. He did not carry a sword. He carried the record of their deeds, the golden disc of Anu, and with it the burden of naming what others feared to name. His first step was to face the leaders of the fallen watchers directly, standing before them as a mere human, small and vulnerable, with no armor and no title. He called them by their true names and recited the oath they had sworn in shadows. Some laughed and waved him off as a fool. Others threatened him, voices honed sharp by pride and anger, yet a few fell quiet, as if a buried conscience had finally stirred after ages of sleep. Semjaza answered,
Enoch, blessed human of Anu, Yahweh and the council cannot risk another war between the houses of Atlantis. Nibiru is dying. We have taken wives and have bared children who will rule this earth. Through their lines, we shall live through them forever.
His words carried the weight of old claims, spoken like truths that had never needed permission. Enoch didn't flinch.
You crossed the boundary you knew well. You taught what you were forbidden to teach. You took what you were forbidden to take. You turned steward into hunger, so says King Anu.
The other fallen watchers argued with the oldest excuses: love, destiny, progress, and freedom, yet Enoch answered in plain speech that left no room to hide. They spread stories that Enoch was mad, jealous, or possessed. They paid scribes to twist his words until truth sounded like blasphemy, leaned on priests to denounce him, and pressed human leaders to threaten him as a disturber of order. Yet Enoch, resolute, kept walking. He entered cities where hybrid-blooded warlords ruled and saw the poor paying the price for the feasts of the rich, watched courts of law pretend to serve justice while secretly serving power of the fallen, and witnessed parents teaching their children the ways of necromancy and death. Through it all, Enoch wrote it down, recording the sins of a world lost to its own pride. In that hour, Ninurta, known in later epochs as Michael, the right-hand angel and iron scourge of the fallen, returned from the far side of the ancient Americas and yellow lands of Asia, where he had cultivated a new people from the line of Cain. Upon his return to the Black Lands, he carried the weight of final judgment for 200 fallen sons of heaven, bringing the law of Yahweh. He met the watchers in the air they had claimed as their stage and challenged them over Enlil when they rose over cities to display themselves as gods. He answered them with decree. The battles became a dreadful ritual repeated across the world's horizon, a fallen watcher attempting to prove divinity, an angel answering with judgment, the heavens flashing like hammered metal under a forge, while below Enoch remained what he had been sent to be. No conqueror, no executioner, but the witness who kept the record steady as the age tried to silence him and the storm of consequence finally gathered overhead. So, later ages would remember the night false gods met the edge of law. Azazel, who had spread the secrets of forging blades and bending beauty into a weapon, received the harshest personal judgment. He would be bound hand and foot, cast into a desolate chasm in the wilderness of Dudael, covered with stones and darkness until the final day of judgment, when he would pass from pit into fire. His teachings had poisoned the earth's ways. The weight of that corruption would rest on his name. Ishkur, a son of Enlil, also known as Gabriel, was sent against the hybrid offspring, the Nephilim, and the violent lines that followed the fallen angels. Their end would not come through age, rather through strife, as they turned their strength against each other until their numbers failed. The hope of long royal dynasties among them would collapse in a single generation. Ninurta charged Semjaza and the rest of the Watchers who had broken their oath. They would live long enough to see their eldest sons die violently and their households shattered. Then they themselves would be bound in the depths of the earth for 70 generations, held for the final, unending judgment in the end days. There would be no open door, no return to the heights. The corruption they had brought upon humankind would be scrubbed away, so righteousness could take root again. Families at peace, long lives without terror, fields heavy with grain, vines and olive trees pouring out abundance, and the earth cleansed of the filth of oppression and godlessness. Enoch, during this time of upheaval of the fallen leaders, began to have visions from his abode. In his earliest visions, Enoch received visions of the realm who judged them. In one vision, the clouds carried him. Mist wrapped him. Stars and lightning drove him onward, and winds drew him into heaven. He approached a towering crystal wall ringed with fire tongues, stepped through fear into a crystal house with crystal floor and foundations. Its roof, like a storm-bright sky, filled with lightning and fiery cherubim. Fire surrounded it, and its doors burned. Inside, heat like flame and cold like ice stood side by side. Dread filled the space. He saw a second house greater than the first, with an open flaming gate, a floor like a flowing river of fire, and a blazing vault above. At its center rose a throne like translucent crystal, wheels shining like the sun, surrounded by cherubim and streams of living fire. Upon that throne sat the great glory, robed brighter than the sun and whiter than snow. Even angels could not behold his face directly. Thousands upon thousands stood before him, and he required no counselor. The holiest attendant remained at his side without rest. Enoch lay trembling until a holy one lifted him and brought him closer. It was the angel Uriel, his godly cousin, grandson of Enlil. He welcomed his brother to heaven, where he would reside forever immortal, and Than, the great cosmic voice, spoke to him saying, "Enoch, son of earth, you are blessed for confronting the sons of heaven." Some had been created as spiritual beings in the chambers of the undying, without need for marriage or childbearing. Marriage had been given to humans alone, so the earth would be filled in its proper order. By crossing that boundary, the Watchers had twisted this order at its root. From this crossing, another legacy emerged. The giants, born from spirit and flesh, would die in body, and from their remains a different kind of presence would proceed. These spirits, born from both heaven and earth, settled fully in neither, would remain on the earth as restless forces, evil spirits. They would afflict, oppress, stir war, and foster destruction. Endlessly hungry and never satisfied, they would trouble humans and animals alike until the final judgment closed their age. Heavenly spirits would remain in heaven, earthly spirits in earth's realm, while these confused offspring of both would wander as a torment between. From there, Enoch was taken to those who blazed like fire, yet could appear as men. He came to a vast mountain reaching heaven. He saw where the stars and lights are kept, and the deepest depths where thunder, lightning, fiery weapons, arrows, and a flaming sword are stored. He came to living waters and to the blazing western fire where the sun sets. He saw a river of fire flowing like water into the great western sea. He saw the great rivers of the world, journeyed into darkness where no creature can walk, saw winter-shadowed mountains and the source of the deep, the mouths of all rivers, and the entrance to the vast depths. He saw storerooms of the winds and how they arrange creation and set the earth's foundation. He saw the cornerstone of the earth and the four winds that uphold earth and sky, how the winds spread the heavens, stand between heaven and earth like pillars, turn the sun, guide the stars, carry the clouds, and form the paths of angels. At Earth's edge, he saw the sky above. He reached a place burning day and night with 7 magnificent mountains, 3 in the east and 3 in the south. The eastern were of colorful stone, pearl, and jacinth, the southern of red stone. The central mountain rose to heaven like God's throne, of alabaster with a sapphire summit. Flames burned before it. Beyond lay Earth's end and the place where the heavens are complete. He saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire beyond measure. And then, beyond the abyss, Enoch saw a place with no sky above and no solid ground below, empty and desolate. He saw 7 stars burning like mountains and asked about them. The angel said, "This is the end of heaven and earth, the prison of the stars and heavenly beings. These rolling stars are those who disobeyed the Lord's command and did not rise when appointed. They are bound here until their guilt is judged for 10,000 years. Uriel said, "Here stand the angels who defiled themselves with women. Their spirits roam into the realms of men, leading mankind astray to worship them as gods. Here they remain until the great judgment when they are destroyed. The women they led astray become sirens, calling men to doom. Enoch alone saw this end. No other man will see it." He continued with the holy angels who showed him the universe's mysteries. He met the celestial guardians over humanity. He named the holy angels Uriel over the world, and Tartarus, Raphael over the spirits of men, Raguel, who takes vengeance on the luminaries' world, Michael over the best part of humanity and over chaos, Sarachael over spirits who sin in spirit, Gabriel over paradise, serpents, and cherubim, Remiel over those who rise from the dead. He came to a place of chaos, no heaven above, no founded earth below, only horror. There he saw 7 stars bound together, burning like fiery mountains. He asked their sin and why they were cast there. Uriel, chief over them, said, "Behold, these stars transgressed the Lord's command. They are bound until the 10,000 years of their sin are fulfilled." He was taken to another, even more dreadful place, a vast fire cleaving to the abyss, full of immense columns of flame beyond understanding. Enoch said, "How terrifying this is." Uriel responded, "This is the prison of the fallen, where they will be held forever." Uriel showed him a great western mountain of solid rock with 4 hollow, deep, wide, very smooth places, dark and fearful. Raphael explained, "These hollows are for the spirits of the dead, so all human souls may gather here until their judgment at the appointed time." Enoch saw the spirits of the dead crying for justice. He asked, "Whose spirit cries so desperately?" Raphael said, "Abel's, whom Cain murdered." Enoch asked about the divisions. Raphael said, "Behold, 3 divisions separate righteous from sinners. One has a bright spring for the righteous. Another holds sinners who died without facing judgment in life. Here they suffer until judgment and then face punishment and torment, bound forever without peace. Another is for those crying for vengeance, cut down by the wicked. Another is for men who were wholly corrupt. They remain together in torment until destroyed on Judgment Day and never rise again." Enoch blessed the Lord of glory, the Lord of righteousness who rules forever. He went west of earth's ends and saw an unending fire that never rests, day or night. He asked, "What is this?" Raphael answered, "This is the western fire that pursues all the celestial lights." He went on and saw fiery mountains burning day and night. Beyond them he saw 7 grand mountains, 3 in the east, one above another, 3 in the south likewise with rugged ravines, and a 7th in the midst like a throne, surrounded by aromatic trees. Among them was a unique tree with unmatched fragrance. Its leaves, blooms, and wood never wither. Its fruit is like palm dates. Enoch admired its beauty and scent. Michael, chief of the holy angels, said, "Why do you seek its truth?" Enoch said he wished to understand, especially this tree. Michael said, "The towering mountain like God's throne is indeed his throne. The Holy Great One, the Lord of Glory, the Eternal King, will descend to earth to visit in kindness. Until the great judgment, no mortal may touch this tree. Then it will be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit will feed the chosen. The tree will be transplanted to the Lord's eternal temple. They will rejoice, enter the holy place, be filled with its fragrance, and live long without sorrow, disease, torment, or disaster, like their ancestors." Enoch praised the God of glory, the eternal King, who prepared and promised these blessings. He came to Earth's heart and found a blessed place of ever-blooming trees and a sacred mountain with a stream flowing east then south. To the east he saw another taller mountain separated by a deep, narrow ravine with a stream beneath. To the west was a lower mountain separated by a deep, dry ravine with another similar ravine at the ends of the three mountains. All the ravines were narrow, deep, cut from solid rock and treeless. Enoch marveled.
"My Lord, what is the purpose of this blessed land with trees and this cursed valley between?"
Uriel said,
"This cursed valley is for the eternally condemned, those who spoke blasphemies against the Lord and his glory. Here the accursed face judgment. In the end times the righteous will see this judgment. The merciful will bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King, and on that day will praise his mercy that determined their fate."
Enoch, accompanied by the angel Uriel, known also as Utu, grandson of Enlil, traveled far to the east, guided by a path that stretched through unknown lands. As they moved forward, they came upon a desert where the air was thick with the sweet aromas of frankincense and myrrh rising from trees that resembled almond blossoms. The scents filled the air, marking the first stop on a journey that would take Enoch into realms beyond his imagination. As they pressed on, they reached a valley of water where trees stood with fragrant mastic, their smell filling the air like the richest perfume. Along the valley, Enoch saw cinnamon trees, and farther east still, he found mountains where groves of Serrara and galvanum trees grew, their nectar sweetening the very air they breathed. As he moved forward, he passed the angel Zotiel, whose presence was a silent marker of his passage, and then, at the farthest edge of the earth, Enoch reached the Garden of Righteousness, a place of unimaginable beauty. Within the garden, Enoch saw the Tree of Wisdom, a towering presence as tall as a fir with leaves like carob and fruit like clusters of grapes. Its fragrance reached out, sweeping over the entire garden. Uriel, his guide, spoke softly. "This is the Tree of Wisdom. Your forefather and mother ate from it long ago and gained knowledge. Their eyes were opened and they were expelled from the garden." Enoch marveled at the tree, its allure overwhelming. He knew that this place, this tree, held the answers to questions unspoken, a reminder of the ancient wisdom that had shaped the very foundation of human existence. His journey continued, taking him beyond the garden to the farthest edges of the earth. There he saw majestic beasts and birds, each one unique in form, beauty, and song. But it was to the east, where the heavens met the earth, that Enoch saw the true marvels, the portals of heaven opening wide. From these portals, stars emerged, and Uriel showed Enoch how to count each one, naming them and recording their paths, positions, and the times they rose and set. The stars, each with its own purpose, followed a divine order that Enoch could scarcely comprehend. As he traveled farther, Enoch reached the northern edge of the earth, where he saw 3 sky portals releasing winds, cold winds, hail, frost, snow, and rain. One portal brought gentle winds, while the others carried harsh storms that would sweep across the land, causing suffering. Each time Enoch witnessed these wonders, he praised the Lord of Glory for the magnificent works he had created. His journey was not just a physical one, but a spiritual awakening. The portals, the winds, the stars, they all spoke of a divine plan, one that Enoch was only beginning to understand. Enoch then journeyed to the farthest reaches of heaven, where he saw a vision of the future. He spoke of the elect, the righteous ones who would endure when the wicked were removed from the earth. He prophesied that the Lord of Spirits would come, his power shaking the earth, making mountains tremble and hills flatten. The earth itself would split apart, and all on it would perish, but the righteous would be protected, shown mercy, and given peace. He marveled at the order of the heavens, how the stars kept their paths, how the sun and moon followed their courses without fail. Yet the people on earth had not kept their commandments, and they would face judgment for their pride and disobedience. The unrighteous would be cursed, their names remembered only in shame, while the righteous would rejoice, living in peace and salvation. Enoch then saw a vision of the elect one, a figure who would come to judge the world. He would bring justice, punishing the wicked and rewarding the righteous. The kings and mighty rulers of the earth, once exalted in power, would fall before him, their thrones overturned as they were cast into darkness. As Enoch looked upon these visions, he knew that this message was not for his time, but for a future generation. A time would come when the righteous would be gathered and the wicked would face their judgment. In that day, the Son of Man, the elect one, would be revealed, and his reign would be one of righteousness and peace. The earth would be transformed, and the righteous would dwell in it forever. Enoch, having witnessed these extraordinary revelations, praised the Lord of Spirits, who had shown him the mysteries of the heavens and the earth. He knew that his journey had only just begun, for the mysteries of the universe were vast and endless, and he had been chosen to bear witness to them. And so, Enoch traveled on, his heart filled with awe and reverence for the divine order that governed the world. As he continued his journey, he carried with him the knowledge of what was to come, a message for the elect and the righteous, who would one day inherit the earth. In those days by Ednat, Methuselah fathered Lamech, whose name spoke of strength. The land grew tired. Seed sulked in soil. Waters came at odd hours or not at all. People bent from sunrise to dusk. Their voices rose like smoke in the dark. To steady the order, the Anunnaki named Lamech workmaster. He would keep quotas. He would tighten rations. He would stand between decree and hunger. The post lifted him and singed him at once. Lamech took Batanash as wife, a kinswoman of rare beauty, a calm that lay upon rooms like shade. Enki, the water god, beheld her from the heavens. He sent word to his son, "Summon Lamech to your domain." Enki said to Marduk, "Teach him how to make a city with earthling hands." "What of his wife?" Marduk asked. "Send her to Shurubak," Enki replied. "Let Ninharsag shelter her. The streets are febrile." Batanash entered the haven city with guards wary of the crowd. Ninharsag met her at the gate, physician and queen in one gaze. Evening laid soft gold on the roofs. Batanash bathed where the breeze found her. Enki the water god took the form of her husband, Lamech, and drew near. He kissed her. Soon her belly swelled. Within 9 months' time, a runner found Lamech at the works. "Come," he said, "a son has come to your house." Lamech returned in haste. Batanash placed the child in his arms. The infant's skin was bright. and his eyes were blue as the sky. His hair flashed like clean wool. When his eyes opened, light stood upon the rafters. Lamech took a step back.
I have begotten a child that is not like other sons,
he said.
Father must see him.
Methuselah peered into the bright gaze and found it familiar and strange.
Is he of the watchers?
He asked, tracing possible lines on the ground rather than accusing. Methuselah laid a hand on Lamech's shoulder and one on the child's brow.
He is a sign,
he said.
He will carry a work that is not small. Call him respite, that your mouth rehearses what your future must learn.
Batanash kept a name of her own close to the heart. She called him Ziusudra, he of long bright days, and from that day forth that was he would be known as. Methuselah went searching for his father Enoch at the world's end where he dwelt. He called out, and Enoch came. Thank you for watching this episode. Stay tuned for Enoch episode 3. If you enjoyed the journey and want the next chapter to arrive soon, let us know in the comments. There is much still hidden along this astral path and many revelations yet to come. We can't wait to walk it with you again. As always, may the eternal light forever guide your path.